Hello, my name is Christine, and today I'm going to show you how to make my famous sweet potato casserole. Now my family hates sweet potato, but they'll eat my sweet potato. But today I'm going to do a special video to show Food Lovers International my secret recipe for sweet potato casserole. You're going to want 3 average sized sweet potatoes, and you're going to boil them for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending on the size. So once you know your sweet potatoes are nice and soft, you're going to drain the water out. And you want to let them cool down because we're going to be peeling these potatoes by hand. You know your potatoes are nice and cool and that you can touch them by hand. You're going to easily peel them. And the peel should come right off. Just like that. So once you have your potatoes nice and boiled, you're going to smash them. And if you don't have a smasher, you can always use a fork. Now you have your 3 cups of smashed sweet potato, which also equals the 3 potatoes that we used. We're going to add our ingredients. So you're going to use 1 cup of sugar, 5 tablespoons or 1/3 cup of melted butter, 2 eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla. I always add a little bit extra. A teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And a couple pinches of nutmeg. So you have all those ingredients in. You're going to want to whisk your potatoes. You can use a beater, but I choose not to. So once you've mixed all those ingredients together, you're going to add 1/2 cup of whole milk, or half and half. And then you're going to mix that in. You want to mix it until it's a creamy, nice texture. And then set that to the side. So you'll need 16 ounces of shelled pecans. Dry, not salted, not sweetened, just plain old pecans. And you're going to want them crushed. So you can buy crushed pecans or you can buy them whole. I like to buy them whole because I can use part of the bag for the topping and part of the bag for the mixing with the brown sugar. So to break them, you can use a garlic masher, you can use a hammer, or you can use a mallet. I usually use a hammer, but we're at my cousin's house and this is all we could find. So you're going to slowly pound. So after you're done pounding on your pecans, they should look like that. And you'll want to leave a few big pieces so that at the end you can add them to the top so that it makes it for a nice looking display. So now it's time to make the pecan topping. You're going to want the 16-ounce bag that you crushed, and you're going to separate, which is about 4 cups. So you want to separate 1 cup of the larger pieces to put on top of everything to make it more presentable. So in the other 3 cups that are already smashed, you kind of want to, for good measures, give them another little smashing. For those that are going to be using 2 cups of pecan, you will only use 1 cup of brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar or dark brown sugar, it doesn't matter. Okay. So that was 1.5 cups of brown sugar. So this is what I consider the double topping. Again, the single topping, you'll use only about 1 cup of brown sugar for 2 cups of pecan, and from there you can measure it. On top of that, you're going to use 3 tablespoons of melted butter, and if you're going to use more pecans and more brown sugar, you'll want to add 1 extra tablespoon, so it'll equal to 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And you're going to mix all that together.
40.
Once the butter is all mixed in well, you'll want half a cup of flour. If you're only using 1 cup of sugar, you can make this a 1/3 cup of flour. And you're going to mix it until all the white has disappeared. So now you have your sweet potato, which is all done with its ingredients, your topping, and then the pecans for the finishing touch. Before you pour your sweet potato into your greased pan, just give it one last mixing. And then make sure your pan is greased with Pam or vegetable oil. I'm going to spread your sweet potato all over the pan. And you can use a metal pan or a glass pan, either one works. Now you'll take your topping and with a wooden spoon or whatever you'd like, spread it all over evenly on your sweet potato. So now that you've put your topping here all over, you're going to get your leftover pecans and just kind of sprinkle them all over so that it looks presentable. And these just are plain pecans. You don't have to have candied pecans, you don't have to put sugar with them, just plain.
Yeah.
So now you're going to put it into the preheated oven, which was preheated at 325. And you're going to keep it in there for 30 to 40 minutes. Now the time ranges based on if you want a crispy topping, you'll do it for 40-45 minutes. If you want a more softer topping, then you'll do it for about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, so we've baked this for about 40 minutes, so we're going to turn the oven off. Sweet potato. And we are going to have a little bite.
Wait, move that spoon so we could, yeah. Yum.